This is the F-16 fighter jet, developed by the US with a number of European partners. And this is the Su-35, the Russian equivalent being deployed in the Ukraine war. Kyiv says it wants 200 Western jets, such as the Eurofighter Typhoon, F-16 or Swedish Gripen, so it can dominate the skies.
We have freedom, give us wings to protect it.
And while the US has said it won't give fighter jets to Kyiv, the UK and some European countries are now considering sending combat aircraft.
Any decision to send or to supply combat aircraft would inevitably be significant.
So what capabilities could Western jets give Ukraine, and how do they compare to the main Russian jet deployed in the war? First, let's look at why Western jets are important to Kyiv. So far, neither Ukraine nor Russia has achieved air superiority. That's an air force's ability to take control of the sky, stopping anybody other than themselves from entering a particular airspace. At the start of the war, Moscow had nearly 1,200 combat-capable aircraft, according to the IISS think tank. That was far more than Kyiv's inventory of around 120 aging Soviet-era aircraft.
So the challenge for Ukraine is its combat air inventory is increasingly difficult to maintain. In a combat environment, you really need as many of your aircraft available and on the flight line as you can have almost round the clock.
To avoid using their limited jets, Ukraine has focused on its air defences, shooting down over 100 Russian planes and helicopters with surface-to-air missiles. This has made Moscow reluctant to send its own jets beyond the front line. Analysts say it's mainly used the long-range capabilities of its air force to strike Ukrainian targets from afar.
So one of the challenges the Ukrainians have is that the Soviet-era air-to-air missiles, particularly the beyond visual range weapons, don't have anything like the engagement range that the Russian combat aircraft do at the moment.
Experts say Western jets would allow Kyiv to counter Russia's air force directly, changing the balance of power in the skies. So let's look at the specifics of how these jets operate on the battlefield. Russia's Su-35 is larger than the aircraft Ukraine could receive from its allies, allowing it to carry a bigger weapons payload. It's also equipped with a passive sensor that can spot opposing jets without being detected itself. Paired with long-range missiles that can fire at targets over 60 miles away, analysts say it's had a distinct advantage in medium and long-range aerial encounters against Ukraine's current inventory of Soviet-era aircraft. But Western jets, such as the F-16, would come equipped with advanced medium-range missiles, including the American AIM-120. Analysts say these weapons could level the playing field, allowing Ukraine to more effectively challenge Russia's air force in medium and long-range encounters. But when it comes to air power, it's not just the systems that matter. The person piloting the jet is just as important. Experts say Ukraine's pilots will need extensive training for up to a year to use any Western aircraft effectively.
You can't just take somebody out of a Soviet-designed combat aircraft and expect them to be able to fight to the same level the next day. Even with an experienced fast jet pilot, there is a period of conversion, so just to get used to the aircraft, its displays, how it handles, and then you also got to learn how to fight the aircraft.
So the UK has agreed to start training Ukrainian pilots, as Kyiv continues to press its allies into providing jets. Western governments are nervous that providing the weapons, which could be used to hit targets inside Russia, could escalate the war. But analysts say that any model of jet would complement the arsenal of weaponry, including HIMARS and tanks, that Kyiv is already receiving from its allies.